Hi guys, how you doing today? Yes, I'm in an overall. Now, of course, it's not for a garage, but it is what it is. So, how are you doing? Now, welcome to another video for the love of cars. If you've not yet subscribed to the channel, shame on you. Whoa. You should be subscribing right now. And of course, hit the notification bell so that every time we publish a video, you be the one to be told that, you know what, there's a video that's coming up. And of course, 29th August is the Love for Cars convention. You need to be there. You'll learn more things than what you're learning here. Today, I want to talk about one of the most abused but least understood parts of your car. This is a CV axle, also called a drive shaft, yeah, or a half shaft. And these two came from a Toyota. And as you can see, or as you can't see, they are old, so they were replaced. Now, in some cars will have one short and one long, depending on where the transmission is located. And some cars will have both the same size. And in all-wheel drive cars, obviously, they have four. That's part of the reasons why maintaining a four-wheel drive or wheel drive car is more expensive. Now, today I'm going to be explaining what the part does, why it fails, how to know it's about to fail, how to keep it healthy, and how it is repaired. Welcome.
For the love of cars, Uganda, we roll. From dusty roads to dreams we patrol. Reviews teams, we break it down, helping every...
Now, the CV axle transfers power from your transmission or gearbox to the wheels or your tires. Every front-wheel drive car has two shafts, over two axle shafts. And you see, what happens is without them, the engine can run, but the car will not move. Or if they die, some people don't like it when I say they die. If they die, your car won't move. So why does it have joints then? Yeah? Why does it have joints? Because if you realize, let's just use this. See? Why does it have joints? Now, the wheel moves up and down, two. The wheel moves left and right, ta. Now, the CV joints allow the axle to keep transmitting power smoothly while the suspension and steering move as well. Now, there is an outer CV or an outer CV joint, or yeah, this is the joint that is the outer near the wheel. I showed you last time. Yeah, and then we have an inner. This is near your transmission or gearbox. Now let's talk about the rubber boot. Every CV axle has two rubber boots, this and this, for the outer, for the inner. This will attach to what we call a chikopo on your car. Yeah, the cap. It will attach, and they'll put a lock here. Now, the rubber boot keeps the grease in and dirt and water out. And once it tears, the grease will escape, contaminants will enter, and the joint will start to wear. How a CV joint fails. Now, boots tear, the rubber boots, they will tear. The grease will leak, the dirt will enter. Yeah, the bearings will start wearing out, the clicking will start, the vibration will start. Now, this will click, this will vibrate, yeah, and obviously the joint will break apart and the vehicle will stop moving. If it hasn't happened to you, normally it happens when this loosens up. It has happened to me. Now, what are the warning signs? The warning signs will clearly be vibrating when you're accelerating. The grease will be around. You look under your car and you'll see grease everywhere. Normally it's black like this, black grease. And obviously the boot will be torn at that time. There will be a clicking when you're turning. When your tire turns, there will be clicking, yeah? And then there will also be a clank when you're changing gears. For example, you shift your lever to drive, you do to reverse it, Now, let me just show you something here. This is a hub. And this is your wheel. This is your wheel. Now, your CV axle enters here. Okay, you need technicality while putting it in there. It enters there. And you see, while you're moving, your shock absorber is up here like this. Ochiraba. When your shock absorber is up like that, now when you turn left, that's what the CV axle does. See? When you hit the potholes, it's like that. So let's go. Now, what makes them fail first? We need to understand. First of all, letting these rubber boots steer. Rubber boot anyway, Utica, obviously your car is going to, like, see? This was actually torn. And obviously putting poor quality replacements in terms of rubber and the axle themselves. Yeah, hitting potholes, walk by pothole, this will fail, this might fail. Yeah, aggressive driving, because every time you aggressively drive, this moves. Engine mountings that have not been replaced when they fail, worn out suspension parts, bushes, contamination with water. You see how this is protected? Now, how do we keep these things healthy? Inspect the rubber boots. Inspect them. Every time you go for service, make sure these guys inspect them and make sure they're in good condition. Replace the damaged boots immediately. Yeah? Avoid the hard impact. Talk about the down, baby. You get it? When you find that the suspension parts are worn out, bushes, replace them. Your steering rack has a problem, replace it. Yeah? Use quality replacements. Yeah? And then, of course, when the engine mountings fail, gula engine mountings and nudge and put them there. Sometimes you think, oh, the engine mount only, it will kill these things. Now, how are they repaired? Now, sometimes, if only the outer one is dead, this, for example, yeah, normally the thing that actually dies, I call this bunege. Bunege, these ones here. Now, normally, they have a lock here. You will not see it. You don't have to see it. You just have to know what. But they have a lock here. Sometimes the lock will fail because it has dried up and loosened up. Or sometimes just the bearings themselves, they will get out. My God, this is bad. So how bad it had gotten. This is bad. So how are they repaired? Now, sometimes they'll go and just put this. Or you'll just buy, go by Tomutwe if it's the outer one. Go by Tomutwe. Yeah? These are what they call the cross bearings, yeah? Now the cross bearings die a lot. Now when they die, these cross bearings, because it has a lock here. The same thing happens this way. Now this is still intact, but it was marketing. And that's why we removed it. But sometimes you'll put just the head, but I don't recommend you do this. It doesn't really work that much. And they can also replace this. Or just go and buy the entire thing. It's probably cost you like 150 for normal Toyotas. 150 for the short one, 150 for the long one, or 150 for either of them. Yeah? So you can just replace the part that's broken or replace the entire thing. Yeah? Now, if the joint has broken apart in yeah, then you just replace the entire thing. A CV joint rarely fails without warning. Because paying attention to the early symptoms can save you a lot of money. Yeah? Now, let me show you. You see, in Uganda, we drive on the right hand. This is from the same car. Now, of course, you're asking yourself, why is one long and why is one short? In the car where these CV axles came from, the gearbox is located on the passenger side, which means that side, the wheel is nearer the gearbox, and the side of the driver is far away from the gearbox or the transmission, which means we need a longer axle to get to the transmission. Now, some cars obviously have the same size because every couple, they are taller. And of course, if you have a four-wheel drive car or all-wheel drive car, you're going to have four of these. One this way in front, one that way behind. That's one of the things that makes all-wheel drive cars more expensive than two-wheel drive. Now, for a two-wheel drive car, I'm going to spend 300,000 to replace this. For a four-wheel drive car or all-wheel drive car, you're going to spend 600,000. Now, just for you to understand how your driving will kill the CV axle, let me just demonstrate again. Now, this is your wheel hub. The shock absorber will go here. Your ball joint will go here. Your Z-link or whatever will lock up here. And your tire will go here. Now, this axle will definitely go in there, and they will lock it up here. I did show you last time. And every time you're turning, the wheel will turn, the axle will stay in place. See? See? Now, every time you hit a pothole, the axle still stays in place. Diggy, 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 you see? Now, let's just put it out. You see this? This cross bearing here, okay, it's no longer easy. No, let's try this one. Okay. This axle here moves in and out. Okay, I don't think I have enough force like the car, but this thing moves in and out. Why does it do that? Because every time you're going to be hitting a pothole, for example, every time you turn, it will come in and go back out. Come out and go back in, and it will do that. Now, it's made with material. You see this play here, this small distance here. It's meant to enable the cross bearing come out and go back in. There is a lock here. Now, if this lock breaks, your car won't move, trust me. Okay, it will move for a few meters and then it will stop. The grease that goes in there is very important. It keeps the bearings moving. See? That grease. Now, for the guys that have not yet bought your cars, go back and watch the video from the beginning. If you have a car and you've not understood any of this, watch the video again. Now, if you have bought a car before, or you have a car and you know all this, put it in the comment section. Have you ever had your CV joint fail? Share your experience, the symptoms that you noticed, and obviously the repair cost. Yeah? Tell these people how much it costs you to repair this. And for the people that are not driving Toyotas, you need to tell us more so that before someone buys the car you're driving, they know how much they're going to spend on repairing these. And I am glad I got to contribute to your knowledge. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed. Subscribe to For the Love of Cars Uganda. Now, this is the only channel that makes these things as easy to understand as possible. I am not a mechanic, you're not a mechanic, but see how we are starting to understand these things. Don't forget, 29th August, we are going to be at Love for Cars Convention, where we will learn this and more. We're going to meet other car lovers. We're going to meet mechanics. We're going to meet spare parts dealers. And don't forget, we are also launching our second edition of the Love of Cars magazine. Until next time, ciao.